Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mauro from L2TG Game, and I'm here today with a special guest, Daniel Lopez, which is the creator of, can I get it close enough? ROBINHOOD. Dude, I don't know how to pronounce that. How do you pronounce that?
ARKAIYA.
ARKAIYA. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to butcher it. He is the artist of ROBINHOOD of ARKAIYA. This is his latest side quest. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, dude.
And yeah, so we're gonna be talking about his comic book and how he got into comic book drawing artist. Dude, what's it called? Creating. So yeah, man. So first, if you want, like, introduce yourself. You know, your name. If you want to let me know what first got you interested into like comic books.
All right. Hi everyone. My name is Daniel Lopez. Everybody calls me PEZ. I usually only get called Daniel when I'm in trouble, so keep that in mind. I'm just an illustrator. I've been drawing since I was like 3. I've always liked cartoons and comics and anime and all that, and if I could say it now, we went to high school together, so we used to draw and get in trouble in class for drawing when we should be paying attention and stuff. But really, it was just a matter of like continuing to like pursue that like passion for drawing and stuff.
That's awesome.
And eventually that led to like people paying attention and then offering me like gigs here and there. My very first, I've been freelancing since I was 16, like right before I graduated, but
okay.
My first like pro gig in comics wasn't until like 2011. It was a Ninja Turtles cover that I colored for Andy Kuhn, who was like one of my favorite artists because he had like a bunch of comics and like he had also done some cartoon stuff.
Okay. And
my first pro gig was coloring one of his Ninja Turtles variant covers, so that was like really cool. That was like the first pro thing that went in like mainstream.
That's awesome, man. If you're tuning in, thank you for tuning in, first of all. Also, it's a very special occasion for us because he's our first guest here on our channel.
Hell yeah.
So thank you for coming.
Yeah, man.
So forgive me for being a little nervous. But we'll get through it. Like I said, he's our comic book artist. He is my friend from high school. We've known each other for quite some time. And I'm actually very proud of what he's accomplished. And that's why I wanted to bring him on to the channel.
Thank you.
And it's great seeing you. That's coming from my heart to you. I've seen you from the sidelines. I know we haven't kept in touch as much as we'd like, but I've kept up with what you've been doing.
Life happens, man.
It's great. So I'm glad to see you're doing your thing out there. Now, go ahead and get to my next question.
All right.
Were there any artists or comics that influenced your style early on?
Oh, totally. There's way too many to like list and go down the entire list the whole way, but I think the biggest influence for me is Joe Madureira, who goes by Joe Mad.
Yes, I know it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, like I think we had there was an old PlayStation magazine.
That was exactly what I tell you. I'm about to tell you that.
The cover, bro.
He did a lot of those covers.
Yeah, and it was like that dude was. It was funny because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him by name or anything like that. But like you would see his work all the time, and I would always be like, "Damn, like that's the guy. Like that's who I want to like draw like, you know."
That is a badass guy, dude.
And it was. Do you remember Smith's? The store Smith's.
Damn.
On South North Loop.
Oh, man,
it's what is it now? Like El Super or something like that now, or the. It's the one with the bull on it, like.
I don't remember, bro.
No.
But it's gonna be a Ranch Market, I think.
Ranch Market, yeah. It's Ranch Market now. Back then, when we were kids, it was a Smith's, which was like a little kind of Albertsons.
Oh, okay. I think now it's kind of coming back.
Well, they're a major grocer. They're just not here.
Okay. And they had a little magazine and book section.
Yeah.
And there was a Wizard magazine. I think it was Wizard magazine. Like 90%. It could have been Toy Fair, but it was one of those, and I was like flipping through it, and there was a tiny little thumbnail of the collected like trade for Battle Chasers, which was Joe Matt's personal book. And it was this tiny little thumbnail, and it was just Gully, and she was floating. You know, she has these massive gauntlets and everything. And I tell this story all the time, like that. When I saw that, it was just like mind blowing, and I was like, "That's how I want to draw." You know, and it was like later, like literally, not till I was in college, like that I kind of discovered who Joe Matt was and his work and Battle Chasers. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is a guy that I've been like." Want to draw like this whole time.
You knew who he was, but you didn't know who he was at the same time. Like one of those type of situations.
So it was just really funny that like it was just the guy I'd always kind of wanted to draw like and was inspired by him. And then I finally discovered Battle Chasers, and I was like obsessed with Battle Chasers. And yeah, it was just like he's definitely like the biggest influence in my work. And for those of you that know who he is, like if you see my work, I think I'm not trying to make any assumptions, but because I do get it a lot when I do like shows and stuff, but they're like, oh, like this looks like Joe Mad's work, but like a little different.
I see that though. You do have a.
Hopefully, it's more that it's inspired by it, not that I'm copying it. You know, like as much as I would love to draw exactly like Joe, like because he's phenomenal, I still gotta kind of do my own thing. You know,
because I also know. Speaking of Joe, I could be wrong about this because I didn't follow him as closely, but there was. I think he was the inker, liquid,
the colorist,
or the colors. I don't know what you. I mean, you're more attuned to the terminology, but yeah, right. That's another person, right?
Yeah, so it's usually penciler, inker, and then colorist.
And he went by liquid, right, or something like that. And I see that inspiration in your work sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, oh, that's similar to, because I know Joe and that guy worked a lot together when they were doing those covers.
Yeah. So a lot of the covers, again, going back to those PlayStation Magazine covers, like it was Joe and Liquid, which Liquid's actually the colorist, but it's a team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know that.
It was run by Christian Leitner. Chris is actually a friend of mine now, so that's like insane to me. Like
that's awesome.
But he was like kind of running Liquid, and he was like the main talent, and then Aaron Lucen was the other guy. But then they also had like other people that worked under them. But usually when it was like Joe, it was usually Chris or Aaron that did it. And that Dante one, the PlayStation one, where it was like his face and the sword.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That was painted by Arnold Sang, who was a different guy on the scene. And like when he came on the scene, I was like, I want to paint like that guy, you know. And ultimately, Arnold Sang went and became the lead designer for Overwatch. Like,
wow!
All the characters, it was almost all entirely him, and he was like the art director for the project and everything. And he became a massive powerhouse too. So he's dope in his own right. But it was funny because 2006 ish, Joe Matt came back to comics for the first time in like 8 years or something, and he did Ultimates 3. With the Avengers in the Ultimate Universe with Chris, and they did this like only penciled line art, so there was no inker, and Chris just painted over it, kind of like Arnold Sang was doing, but it was a little more stylized. It still had that liquid flavor to it, and that was like I was like, that's what I want to do. Like that's exactly what I want to do, awesome, and I think you could see that specifically in most of my work. So it's like but it sucks because like I'm doing the work of two people when I when I do that kind of work, you know. But yeah, that's like the biggest influences, and then little things like, you know, we grew up on anime and Dragon Ball, especially here in the borderland. Dragon Ball was like influential to all of us, and so like
for us watching anime was, well, at least for me, I'm pretty sure it's the same for you. But watching anime here when we were at that age, we didn't watch it in English. Yeah. For us to watch anime was in Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole different version, or like it's the same feel, but there's something to it. Watching it in Spanish also.
It's funny because like, I think us in the borderland we're kind of lucky, and then maybe even just like in Mexico, but like the translations between like the American translations and then the Mexican translations. The Mexican translations are like that close to the Japanese version. The American ones are like that far from the Japanese version.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes. Actually, I think I discussed this with Mike a while back.
Yeah, so I don't like English dub because of that. It kind of changes the stories every once in a while.
It changes the story.
By the way, Mike is here, guys. He's just off camera, but he's here. But Mike gives me shit about, because I've told him before that I like watching anime in English dub.
Yeah. No, why would he do that? Don't let him.
Like, hot take, real quick, hot take on the anime industry.
All right, here we go.
The one anime that I personally think is really good in English over the Japanese dub, or the original Japanese, is Frieren Journey Beyond Journey's End. I love the English dub more than I do.
Really?
And to that, also, I prefer the Japanese version to Demon Slayer than the English dub. But you know,
Well, you're half right.
Half right. He's almost there.
But I mean, that's me. I mean, sometimes I prefer watching stuff in English also, because sometimes I'll put an anime on and I'm not fully paying attention.
Yeah, so you want to switch it over.
So I'm like doing stuff and I know the characters and everything, but it sounds like something important is happening. Like, and I'll fucking start paying attention and shit. And I'm like, oh fuck, all right, cool.
No, yeah, I haven't finished Frieren. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm like on episode like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It was when they just found Stark, and like his 2 episode
No
thing.
spoilers, man. I haven't watched it.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
keep recommending it to Mike.
Are you watching it dubbed or?
No, it's in Jap. That's why it's taking so long, because we're watching it in Japanese, and like, so like I have to focus. I have
But
to
see,
like,
that's the one that I'm saying is better in dubbed. There's
I think we have to watch it.
to what you were saying earlier, how it's translated. There's I don't want to ruin it, but there's a scene in Frieren where the translation is so much better in English than it is in Japanese.
Yeah.
Or the subtitle that they use. And I was like, that's awesome. And to that point too, recently I've been watching the One Piece live action.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I'm not the biggest One Piece fan, and I've seen some of One Piece, and I started watching the live action.
Yeah.
There's a song that they sing both in the anime and in the live action,
Yeah.
where I heard it in the live action in English because it's English, and loved it. Great song. And through TikTok, social media, I came across the Spanish version of it, and I was like, oh my god, the Spanish version is so much sadder.
Oh damn.
I was like, wow, but it's like tugged in my heartstrings. I was like, wow, I loved it more in Spanish.
Yeah, yeah,
But I didn't know that it's so different though.
yeah.
Like it translated so differently, and that goes to your point. We're saying,
Yeah, and I think the problem is like localization, where it's like they try to like apply it to the culture as well. I think in the English dub, I think they tried too hard to like compensate for cultural differences between obviously Japan and America, right, or like the West. And in doing so, they kind of like ruin certain things, you know.
Yeah.
And it becomes just kind of like dumb and annoying in the dub, to where like I just can't stand the voices, like Zenitsu in
Yeah. See that's
Demon
what.
Slayers in English is he's already annoying in English. It
True,
just makes me
true.
want to like just want to like rip my ears off when I hear him. And it's funny because I couldn't watch Naruto. I tried watching Naruto so many times, and I was watching it on Adult Swim, so it was like in English, and I was like, I can't do this.
Also, you never actually like finished the.
Well, it wasn't. When was it? Well, it was a couple of years ago. My friend's brother was like, "Bro, you got to see it because it's got like the best fight scenes ever."
It
And
really
I was
does.
like, "All right, dude."
I was gonna say tread carefully, man, because you start bashing on Naruto. The series is gonna end early.
No bad. I'll die on the hill that the
have to
dub
walk
is.
you out, and maybe I won't let you pet the
That
dogs
one
on your
I'll
way
give you
out.
that. The dub, the English dub.
I'll
on
die on the
Naruto.
hill that the English dub on Naruto is atrocious.
I could agree with that.
His little catchphrase of "believe it" is like, come on, you know?
Back to Bayo.
But yeah, and it's like, so it's just I couldn't watch it, and then my friend's brother was like, you gotta watch it, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it just for the fight scenes, because what he did was how he hooked me was like, here, look, and he showed me like a YouTube video that was like just the highlights of fights, and I was like, yo, is this what I'm missing out on? And
Yeah,
he's like,
the
dude,
fights
I'm
are
telling you, and I
awesome.
was like,
Also, story wise though, it's got some great stuff in there, man.
no, yeah, and then so ultimately I was like, all right, but I'm gonna watch it subs. Like I'm not gonna listen to it in English because it's very bad.
I mean, I get that.
And like, dude, like,
World difference.
I had seen the first arc up until when they get to the bridge with Kakashi and like up to there. I'd seen that like 5 times before because I was trying to watch this.
Oh, the Zabuza.
Yeah. And so like it was like
It's actually Haku.
well, it was
He's in there too.
it was like it was what do you call it, like it was just a chore to watch it again, and I was like,
I get that.
but it was dubbed or I'm sorry, it wasn't dubbed, it was in Japanese, and I was like, it's a little easier to swallow, and then like, but by the end of it I was like,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like super hooked, and I watched I don't know how many episodes, but I still haven't finished it, but I did get way further in, and I
Have
was
you
like,
finished it,
My
Mauro?
points of it because I haven't finished it either. But I'm purposely not finishing because I don't want it to end. I don't want to finish it. I'm literally like at the end. Like, I only need the last arc, or I'm like midway of the last arc, and I just don't finish it because I don't want it to finish. But I'm a big fan of, speaking of anime, I'm a big fan of the big 3, which is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
The
And
big one. But they call it 3 for some reason.
Naruto fan over there. I love Naruto. I'm probably. Well, he doesn't even watch Bleach.
he's like Kendrick over here, like getting all mad at me.
He doesn't watch. I watch Bleach. I love Bleach. I love Bleach just as much as I love Naruto. One Piece is the one that I'm a little like. I get on and off of that one.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up to where it's at right now, but I like it. Story wise, it's great. And I've told Mike about it before, where it's the animation style of it kind of throws me off, and I find it hard to engage with it.
Okay.
But other than that, the story is great, and that's why I guess I'm loving the live action about it because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. I haven't gotten into One Piece at all. I haven't watched a single episode of it. It's not in protest or anything. It's just it never called my attention. It never caught my attention, and then like it's overwhelming because it has just so many episodes.
Yeah, it's.
But I was like, I'm never gonna finish.
It's like I just stated that I saw a meme, something to the effect of of somebody that was getting into it because of the live action. Like, oh, so they started in the 90s?
Yeah.
Awesome. So how does it end? No, it's still going.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man, and like that's cool. Like it's cool that what's his name? Oda, right?
Oda.
Yeah, like I mean, it's cool. Like, even though I'm not really like familiar with the work and I don't like know anything about it, it's still like inspirational to me because the few things I do know is like he's passionate about it. Like he's just dedicated his life to this thing, which like as a creator myself, like it's like what I kind of hope to get for Robin Hood, that it's like, can I just do this till I die? Like that'll be cool, you know?
That'd be awesome. And I think from reading that side quest comic, you have something there, man.
Thanks, man.
And like I said, when I read it, I felt like I was watching an anime.
Yeah.
And true to the name, side quest, it does feel like I'm seeing like a side quest happening. Like
it's funny. Like the inception of the side quest one was like, because the project is Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. Like that's the main storyline. You know, like that's this would be like the OVAs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like the mainline series. Which when I first came up with this story, it was because let me try to backtrack so that I have all of it. But I came up with Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. I called it Robin Hood Steampunk because I was developing it back in 2002, like fall of 2002 or spring of 2003. I can't remember exactly when, but it was definitely that because it was my freshman year in college, so it was 02, 03. And it came from, I had just finished reading all of what was available of Battle Chasers.
Okay.
And I was like, this is incredible. And then I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights because a friend of mine was like, you've never seen it? I was like, no, dude, and I want to. Because
you hadn't seen it?
I hadn't seen it.
College, right?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it, man. And he's like, it's incredible. I was like, yeah, I love Mel Brooks's work, you know? And I love, like, I've always had, like, this deep love for Robin Hood for some reason.
He's a great character.
I think just, like, the idea that this from the legend, like this man that cares enough that he's standing up to corruption by stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Like it's not so much that as much as it is like he's taking back from those who are taking advantage to those that, you know, need the help, you know, and like that's my interpretation of it, which I think is like compassion, and I think that's like really cool. So anyway, like I was like, hey, yeah, let's watch this Robin Hood movie, and then there was the part where Little John grabs the big post on the castle, and then like he throws it at them, and then my brain just went like, if this was like a fantasy like trope or something, he'd be like the big brute character, right? Mm-hmm. And then like that universe exploded in my head in that moment, and I was like, wait a minute, what if Battle Chasers but Robin Hood, you know? And like
that's cool.
So that kind of happened there. But so I've been developing.
Sorry to cut you off. So origins of your
that was the origin of Robin Hood of Arkaiyya, and since then I've been like chipping away at it. So it's been like 23 years. Wow. Oh my god, we're in 2026, so no, it's been 23 years minimum. So and the very first thing I published for it was in 2010, where I did issue 0, because it was issue 0 because it was just like the first, it was a prelude, and it was just supposed to be like the first 6 pages of issue number 1. Mm-hmm. But that just never happened because work got in the way. I was part of a little independent studio where we were trying to make comics, and like my attention was kind of being pulled in other directions away from Robin Hood at the time. Mm-hmm. So I never got the issue 1 done, you know, like
basically having to pay bills.
Well,
got in the way of doing your own
always, that's always the problem. So like, I mean, that's just a given, right? None of us are rich, so but yeah, like Robin Hood has been like in my mind, and I've been developing it in my mind for literally over 2 decades now. But the first one was in 2010, and then I didn't do anything again with it till 2019, when I had, you know, in between those things, like it wasn't just that I was like waiting, like I was still working on things. I worked on some big projects with some big people that like I grew up watching, and so it wasn't like it was bad things, you know, but it was just stuff that that wouldn't let me focus on Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And I was getting frustrated, and I was like, I just kind of want to, like, these characters are in my head, and they're like, it's hard to describe, but they're like begging you to exist.
Yes.
Like out of your head, you know? And so like it was 2019, and it was going to be Inktober, right?
Oh, okay, yes.
And I was like, you know what? I just want to, for lack of a better phrasing, just want to play with my toys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so like I don't want a story. I don't want anything. I just want to play with my toys. I just want to have these characters exist doing something, anything, it doesn't matter what, without the pressure of like, but the continuity, like how is that going to affect it later when in the, mm-hmm. like what they do now doesn't, like it's contradictory to issue 12 or,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, it's so much pressure. So I was like, well, I'll make like a little side story with Inktober, and it's a throwaway story because it's random. For those of you that don't know, Inktober is just like a little exercise that a lot of artists do yearly, and there's it's drawing one thing a day through the month of October, so it's 31 things, and there's an official list with 31 random words that are kind of related.
Do you still have some of those on your socials or no?
Yeah, that's all still there.
We might be able to put some previews around here somewhere for that Inktober.
I think in Instagram the hashtag is PEZtober 2019. I think.
So just so you guys can check it out, and if we are able
Instagram.
to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Pezorama.
Pezorama Rama actually. On Instagram.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. And then also Robin Hood of Arkaiyya.
Oh, yes,
on
that's
Instagram. Right. Which is like the one that's only about Robin Hood. But yeah, and then so I just wrote this random funny story, and it was lighthearted, and there was like a lot of comedy, and it was cool because I was part of like, oh, I do want this to be funny because like I grew up on Trigun and Dragon Ball, and those are like, and Ranma.
Yes.
And those are like big. Yeah, Ranma has like my favorite anime of all time, and like, so it was just like.
The fact you got him giggling,
and it's like, yeah, like this doesn't have to be that serious. Like I can just have fun with my own thing, and so that Inktober was like an eye opener, and it was a lot of fun. We can talk about that more later, but then I was like, you know what? That's great. I want to work on my story. I want to work on the main line, and there's a lot of pressure to like build all of that. And while I'm building all that. I had the idea for that story for the side quest one, and I was like, you know what I want to do is I want to do 3 to 4 issues of the main storyline, and then I want to drop a little side story that's like not important. It's like semi-canon, like it happened, but it doesn't really matter when or where it happened.
It's just something filler.
Yeah, like it's a filler that did happen, but like. You know,
but it's not prevalent to
like anything that's in the main storyline, you know, and
that's why I love the fact that you chose side quests.
Yeah, and since it's like like a fantasy adventure, like it's akin to RPGs and all that, so like side quests just seem natural.
Perfect title, man. Perfect.
And it was funny because then I started finally working on this. I was like, I got really excited with the story, and I was like, this will be short. It'll be like a 6-pager. And then like my friend Chapanga wrote it with me, and it turned into a 10-pager. And I was like, all right, cool. And then as I started laying it out, it turned into 14 pages. And then as I drew it, I was like, this isn't working. I need to add 2 pages. And in the end, I ended up with 17 pages. And so I was like, oh my God, well, when am I going to get back to the main line? You know, and now I'm currently dedicating myself to just side quest stories before I tackle the main line, which was never the plan, but you gotta just go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow.
How many of these side quests are around?
So right now, that's the first one. I'm working on the second one right now. I actually have 2 friends working on 2 more that I wrote, and they're gonna illustrate.
So the only one out is that one.
That's the one that's out just currently. Yeah. And so I need to like get on it and do more because
I was on your website last night, and I was like, oh hey, because I read it, and just like Mauro said, and that comedy that you're talking about, where the influence that you had and Ranma 1/2, and it's got to be that comedy in it. I totally got that when I was reading it.
Yeah,
and just like Mauro, that had the whole anime feel to where it's not that serious, right? Yeah. There's hardly any drama in it, if not any in it. But you read it when you're reading it. You're reading in that form where it's a side quest and it's comical. Yeah, this is comedy that we're looking at, where we're reading through. Yeah. So I got on your website and I was like, well, there's got to be more, right? And I didn't see any more. In fact, even when I looked up that one, there's a blank page that says, hey, there's an error, this is not here.
And that was what I was telling you earlier, like the website's like kind of, it's where it's at, and we're not moving that for a bit.
To what he's saying though, like I finished it, I wanted more, dude. Yeah, I wanted more. Right? Like, I loved it. I wanted more, and I can't wait.
So we're about encouraging this, but like there's always, I mean, you see it everywhere. I don't know if you want to call it propaganda, but about supporting small businesses. Home businesses. Like, hey, go to your local mom and pop store over here in the corner rather than your major. And that's how we feel about your work. Is like, hey man, we gotta. There's all these other. We want to see you get there. Yeah. Where like you're a household name. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like right away, like we said, like, is there anywhere people to get a copy of that or read that online somehow?
Yeah, so you can go to the Ko-fi shop, which is kofi.com/ROBINHOOD of Arkaiyya, I believe. If you're on Instagram, it's the link in the bio. But the Ko-fi shop has the book on the shop. It has only the book and the digital version of the book, which is like $5 or $10, respectively. The digital one's $5. I forgot to add the Inktober book because I still have the Inktober book. I forgot to add that one. Maybe I'll add it tonight. But,
all right.
I got to do a little photo shoot for the book. And
you know what? To the viewers, let's hold them to that.
Okay,
Get it done.
We'll put it up.
Get them done.
We'll put it up tonight. I think I have a picture of it, but let me just get a good picture of it for it to look nice, and then I'll put it up for sure. So if I can't get it tonight without enough light, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
All right.
Guaranteed.
Real quick, I know you mentioned that like Robin Hood. You like that story?
Yeah.
Like the whole. Is it the idea of Robin Hood that you like, or the actual story of or legend story of Robin Hood?
No, I mean I like the legend. I have the Robert Pyle book.
Guys,
I like
please
the
excuse me. I have to use the restroom. Keep talking to Mike. Sorry.
Happens. You only rent alcohol, is what they say.
All right, from the top here, I like Robin Hood just generally throughout the whole thing. I was saying I have the Robert Pyle book. Disney's Robin Hood's one of my favorite animations of all time. I like the movies. I like all the movies that have come out, even though people don't like the newest one with Taron Egerton. I thought that was great.
That's the new one.
Yeah, with Jamie Foxx's Little John. And then the one with Kurt Russell, is it Robert Zemeckis that did? No.
Because there's a The Death of Robin Hood. Have you heard of that
that's
one?
coming out now, yeah, with Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
That one seems very interesting. Now, I was curious about the whole Robin Hood because when I saw the cover of your comic book there,
Yeah.
before I even read the title, and I was going to ask this, I didn't see Robin Hood.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of when I saw that cover was Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Because of the characters, the way they're drawn, and just everything that was going on.
Yeah.
And then I read the cover, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So Arkaiyya,
Excuse me. Sorry.
is it? Let's say, is it a planet? Is it a city? Is it a town?
So Arkaiyya is the world. It's
the world.
It's the world that they exist in. It's the world they live in. It's like
I'm back.
in like
Nottingham,
well, so
or bigger than that?
no, it's bigger than that. It's like the whole plane of existence. Like
Okay.
for Lord of the, I don't know how familiar you are with Lord of the Rings. So Middle Earth
Right.
is the world. So Arkaiyya is Middle Earth.
Okay. I got you.
So in this world, England is called Ingladel, but it's like a realm that the king kind of controls, right? Like there's Nottingham, which I call Nottinghambria, just for the sake of making it sound more fantasy.
Okay.
And I actually think Nottinghambria, because I've been researching Robin Hood I'm not like an expert, but like I'm just like passionate about it. I think originally
enough to come up with your version of it.
yeah, just to try and like help fill in the empty spaces, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, the like I think Nottingham was originally called Nottinghambria for a while, so I had come up with Nottinghambria in my head, and then I found out that was like the name, and I was like, oh crap, that's cool. But yeah, so Arkaiyya is the world. In like a lot of fantasy tropes and places, the Earth is actually called Gaia.
Right. One of my favorite ones actually mentions that in Appleseed. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
So
When I hear
Appleseed.
Gaia, I always what comes to my mind is that one video game, Super NES, Legend of Gaia.
Legend of Gaia, yeah. Yeah, it's like it's almost like an unwritten rule that like fantasy stories take place in Gaia, because it's like a parallel medieval time to us, and instead of Earth, it's Gaia. So I can't remember how I came across Arkaiyya exactly, because this was recent. Like in the last couple of years, I was like,
Yeah, because I think I've been following you for a while, dude. So I know, like you mentioned earlier, it was steampunk.
yeah, it was Robin Hood steampunk.
Which I remember reading that, and because I'm also a fan of steampunk.
Yeah.
So like that's pretty cool. That's a cool like version of
Yeah,
Robin Hood.
like hopefully just something fun.
And then when I saw that you named it Arkaiyya, I was like, is it still the same thing? Or
Yeah.
what is it now? But,
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, but it's great. I love it. I love what you're doing with it.
Thanks. And so, like, to talk about like the Robin Hood steampunk thing was when I had come up with this, and again, this was like Battle Chasers was in my head, and I was like, well, I wanted to be like Battle Chasers, but so I started like doing a lot of like research on Battle Chasers and all that, and like I don't even know if Wikipedia was a thing at the time, but but like forums that I was going to, and like one of a term that kept popping up was steampunk. And they were saying like, yeah, because Battle Chasers is like a steampunk fantasy. And so at the time, like steampunk was a genre that was kind of fresh, and I think everybody associates steampunk with like the Victorian era, copper, floating blimps and all that. And
Definitely.
that's like, I think, pure steampunk, but like at the time steampunk kind of touched on a lot of different things, and fantasy stories, like medieval fantasy stories that had a little bit of technology and like maybe magic power technology was also considered steampunk at the time. Now it's called arcane punk. Like it's kind of become a genre in itself, so now it's arcane punk.
The show Arcane.
Yeah.
They have that in there.
Yeah.
Which I love, by the way. You haven't seen our videos on that.
100%.
We have videos on that. Go check them out.
Yeah, and then like so like the specific genre for Robin Hood of Arkaiyya is arcane punk, but because steampunk has become associated with one very specific thing now, it was like maybe 5 years ago that I was like, I think I need to change the name. And Robin Hood Steampunk was like almost always a working title, but I just kind of, it just stuck, and I was very attached to it because again, 20 years, you know.
Yeah.
But I can't remember how I came. There was something about like it was just something that rolled out of my mouth, and it was like Arkaiyya, and I was like, I kind of like that. I kind of think that sounds fantasy-ish, and I decided that was like a better way to show people that this was like not Robin Hood that you're expecting.
Yeah.
And like I do a lot of conventions with it, and people go like, Robin Hood of Arkaiyya, what's Arkaiyya? Like that sounds kind of fantasy-ish, and you know, so I'm like, cool. That was the goal.
That was the goal. So yeah. And definitely, I personally like the title too. It sounds great.
Thanks. And in my head, and this is not like official, but like Arkaiyya is like an arcane pronunciation of Gaia.
Okay.
That was never like the intention, but it like worked out.
Just kind of fell into
like,
place.
oh, that's cool, because like things as time goes on in words, they get softer. You know, like Houston was actually like house town. You know,
I did not know that.
and,
But
like,
now I know.
stuff like that. Like I had this idea for like a big bustling like industrial city in the world, and I was gonna call it Copper Town, but like as time passed, it's Copperton. You know, and so I was like Copperton, and my writer was like, I don't like that. I think it's stupid. And I was like, shut up, dude. It's dope. Copperton. It makes sense.
It does make sense.
And then I told my wife, and she's like the sunscreen, and I was like,
Copper tone.
I was like, damn. All right, I gotta change it. I was like, I gotta change it then.
Is that where the stupid came in for the other person?
Yeah, I was like, come on. So yeah, then I had to change it, and for now that town might be called something like Cyprium or something like that, because I think that's the Latin word for copper. So I was like, all right, still keeping it in that vein. But anyway, like as time passes, like words soften. So like in my head, Arkaiyya becomes Argaia, which becomes Gaia. So like
That makes sense.
But yeah,
That's
like,
very interesting.
But I'm not like trying to like make any actual prehistory that's official for Gaia or anything like that.
No,
like,
yeah.
But it was just that was kind of where it came out of, and then it was cool because I think like Kai means like energy, so it was like kind of like energy, life, the world, like so.
But it all just kind of fell into place.
It just kind of happened by pure like happy accident, that name.
I want to take a quick or stop you right there real quick because I have a question on the character that you have here.
Yeah.
Because it's very what's the term on the nose?
Yeah.
Scarlet. It's your character in the book that's completely red.
Yeah.
Was that just like super intentional? Just you wanted to make sure he was red? What was the thought process behind that?
You know, it's if this ever becomes actually popular, he's gonna be problematic. You know, you know, we're, you know, I'm Hispanic. You know, we're Hispanic. We have a lot of indigenous blood in us, and you know, I'm like 40% Native American. And so Will Scarlet, when I first kind of came up with him, so you're asking me like how much do I know about, like, or not how much do I know, but like how much into Robin Hood I am. Like,
Right.
one of the first stories that I did read was how Robin Hood meets Will Scarlet, and in the Robert Pyle book, and it's Little John and Robin and a couple of other merry men, which is like the gang members, right? Because it's a gang, and right. They're walking in the forest, and then like they see, and the way he describes it, it's like there is a gaily dressed man in flamboyant red or scarlet garb, you know, you know, because it's like a pseudo Old English the way it's written, and so it's not like gay the way we use it now.
Yes.
And so the way the story unfolds is that like they see this dude and they're like offended by how like how pruned he is and how much he's like peacocking, and like they're like, fuck this guy, you know, like that's kind of how I interpreted the story.
Trying to be low key,
you know, like he's just walking and they're like, nobody dressed like that doesn't have extra money, so like let's go and press him for it, right? And so they go up to him, or Robin goes up to him, and just kind of, like, he's just a total dick about it. And he's just like, hey, you're dressed kind of like an idiot. I'm paraphrasing all this, but like it was like, you're dressed kind of like an idiot, and I bet you have money, so like how about we, you know, you pay us and then you're on your merry way. And Will just kind of like laughs it off, and he's like, you're funny, man, like, but I'm good, thanks, I'm just gonna be on my way, I don't want any trouble. And Robin's like, no, dude, I really just don't like what I'm seeing here. And he's like, so pay up or get, you know, folded. And Will's like, oh, you want to fight? And he's like, I don't think you want to fight me though. And Robin's like, oh, I do. So then like I think he gives him a quarterstaff, and Will's like, okay. And then so Robin's like, you know, I'm like this little twink, you know, like, and I'm thinking Robin Hood, right? And so then they're like about to start, and then Will just beats the fuck out of Robin, like just pummels him, and he's like on the floor, like about to die, when like Little John and the gang like grab him, and they're like, hey, that's enough, you know, and like they're like about to like kill Will, and Robin's like, hey, hold on, like this dude's kind of a really badass fighter, like maybe we can have him join us, you know. And then
on
like,
second thought.
and yeah, like, and then he finds out that like they're cousins or something like that, like, because he's like, you guys are like a bunch of bitches for pulling me off of your boy, basically, right? And then he's like, well, who are you? He's like, well, I'm Will Scarlet, or Will, I forget his actual name, but it's Will of something. And then he's like, and I'm looking for my cousin Robin. And he's like, wait, I'm Robin. He's like, wait, you're little Will? And he's like, yeah. He's like, holy shit. And so then now they're boys, you know, immediately.
Did we just become best friends?
Like immediately they're like, oh my god, dude, no, like join the gang. We'll give you better clothes. Like we'll give you green clothing, because like that was one of the things in the Robert Pyle books that like that was like a payment. Like, hey, you join us, you get three green outfits and food. And Will's like, well, all right. And then like they changed his name to Will Scarlet because he was wearing red, you know. So to me, all of that informed that he's the best fighter. So in my world, he's the best fighter for sure. And so I dressed him like a rock star. He's got a crop jacket because Squall has a crop jacket, and it's like the dopest silhouette, you know. And I wanted him to be reddish because I wanted him to be a redskin, like just kind of a little bit of an homage to like my indigenous heritage, you know, our indigenous heritage, and like I think it's cool. Like I think red skin looks awesome as hell. Is the short version of why he's red. is that years ago there was a creator named LaShawn Thomas. He's a African American. He's a black dude who's like the baddest storyteller. He's so freaking good. His storyboards are great. And he did Cannon Busters. I don't know if you ever saw that anime on Netflix.
I have the song title in my playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he I remember he came out like in a documentary or something with a bunch of other artists.
Yeah.
Talking about how he was inspired about a lot of other anime. I don't even. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Yes. I know he is. Yes.
So, Cannon Busters was like just was something that LaShawn did, and there's a character in there named Nine. And when he first came up with Cannon Busters, it was going to be a graphic novel, and Nine was red, like purely red. And I was like, that fucking looks dope, you know, like it just looks really freaking cool. And like Hellboy looks cool as hell to me too, you know. Mm-hmm. And then another thing that LaShawn had done was he was gonna do something else called Drama Kings, and the art for it was like super high contrast, so like heavy black shadows, like some of the art for Samurai Champloo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like where all the shadows were like cut black. Mm-hmm. But the characters were African American as well, or just maybe not even American, but they were black characters. And he was doing that hard cut in black, but like they were all black with like tiny highlights, because this was all black and white. And it looks so freaking awesome. And I was like, that's really cool. Like he's just like, well, we're black, so I'm drawing black ink with it, you know? And I was like, that's really freaking cool. And I think it was around that time that I was like, I think Will Scarlet will be red, because I want like somebody with red skin, you know? Again, for like my indigenous heritage. And then like he became like just he looks like a rock star. He's in universe, he's the best fighter, but he's also, it's funny, one of the influences for the world building was the Dragon Quest anime, The Adventures of Dai, which growing up was Las Aventuras de Fly. That's how we grew up. That's how we knew it.
Yep.
And so you know how Mom couldn't use magic, and she had a little spellcaster. Well, Will has the same thing because he can't use magic, and because I was like, I just want the exact same trope because I thought it was cool, you know.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And then later she becomes like one of the better fighters, right? And it was funny because when we were growing up, the translated version of Dragon Quest didn't get past a certain story, so there was never the return of Mom when in the Mexican one. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know she came back and was like one of the better fighters, but it was like exactly what happens with him. Like he's just a better fighter, but he can't use magic. And then later on, I was like, oh, you know what? If these are like magic enhanced characters and people when they're fighting, like how is Will gonna fare against that if he's just a human? And so I gave him like these gauntlets, what you see in the book, that it comes out of his jacket, and they just protect him. Like they're just metal gauntlets that protect him from breaking his bones when he hits somebody who's magically enhanced or anything, you know, like there's no enhancements behind it. And then I later come to find out that he's basically the Rock Lee of the universe, like because he can't use the
he like that, you know.
Yeah, like he can't use the jutsu, right? You know, he can't use the jutsu, but he's still the best fighter, right? And it was funny because like again, I hadn't seen Naruto like until like literally 3 or 4 years ago, and I was like, oh dang. I was like, well, all right. And
he's Rock Lee's awesome.
and so then in the story there is an actual reason why he not only can't use magic but shouldn't use magic, and it has to do with like he's the last of his kind, like the entire race is gone, so he's literally like the last one, and not Superman, the last son of Krypton, but also has a cousin, but also has a stepson, but also has a clone son, but also has the city of Kandor, and also the dog, and also or Goku, the last survivor of the Saiyans, but also has a Vegeta, and also has Broly, and also has like he's literally the last one, and that's the end of it. There is no other.
Unless he spreads its seed.
Yeah, like, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be mixed, right?
but he is the last, right? He is the last of his kind, and that. Like what happened
so any like
to lead to that
okay, sorry,
is connected to like why he can't use magic,
And that's something you're working out right now?
That's for the main storyline, not the side quest stuff. So like,
when?
We're trying to get the scoop right now, guys.
So we're speaking of that, like the development of your characters and backstories and so on and so forth. Where are you on that as far as that story for Robin Hood of Arkaiyya?
So like the main storyline is it's all plotted. It's not scripted. Chapanga, who's my co-writer, scripted like the first 3 issues. And there's like little things I want to edit here and there, and then move from there. But the hardest part is like it's going back to saying like I'm doing the work of like a team, you know. Mm-hmm. If you see if you see the credits on the book, like I did everything.
Did see that, yeah.
And it's like that's not sustainable. Like,
so why don't you have a team?
There's no money. I don't have the money for it.
The funding.
It's all funding.
I noticed that. I know I'm going over here because I wanted to mention this. There's some comic book artists that came out with a title of Black Sands. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Black Side, yeah.
They did a whole. What's the word I'm looking for? They did the. You mentioned it in in the credits there, where they're
a Kickstarter.
A Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Did you try that?
Yeah.
What is that? Did that not work out? Because from what I understand, you gotta come up with so much on a Kickstarter in order to kickstart everything, right?
So Kickstarter, like crowdfunding, generally is very interesting because when Kickstarter first started, that's fun to say. You launched your page, you launched your product, and then you campaigned for 30 days or however long you wanted to. Like, hey guys, help us fund this, help us fund this. By the way, here's another page I just finished. Here's some extras that you could possibly get. And it was like you're crunching for that whole month. Like, please help us, please help us, please help us, you know? And people would be excited as like it's building. And through those 30 days, they'd be like, all right, I'll help, right? And and then the campaign would finish. And then now you'd be like, thank you for the money. Let me finish this book, and then we'll publish it and send it to you. And so that was kind of the intention. But I'm not sure when it happened exactly, but this was definitely my experience with the Kickstarter that I did. It's like the culture has shifted to my product is done. Now help fund it, and I'll get it in your hands. And it seems like those are more successful than the ones where it was like the old school original way of doing it, where you kind of like, hey, help us finish this and then you'll get it. Like it's more like, nah, finish it and then I'll pay you. You know?
Because I know like with Black Sands, they had the first issue.
Yeah.
And they wanted the Kickstarter, and like, hey, the Kickstarter gets you the first issue.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you get the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Because, like you said,
you're
trying to get it done.
Yeah.
And then I did notice that trend that you're talking about, like, hey, you have a whole, I don't know, 12, 24 issues, Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Here it is, and you donate done. So much, and
it's yours.
You get it.
Yeah. And so what I want, like, my Kickstarter experience was pretty rough. There's a guy who does very successful Kickstarters, and I happened to be buddies with him, and he, like, I sent it to him and I was like, hey, what do you think when I launched it? And he's like, I don't mean to be rude, man, but you should pull it because I don't think you're gonna meet your goal. And I was like, I'm only asking for $5,000. And he's like, I don't think you're gonna meet it. Like, and I was like, damn. He's like, honestly, dude, your book is good enough. There's no reason for you to not have 10,000 in the first day. And I was like, well, why would I pull it then? If you know? And he's like, you're not gonna meet your funding. And he's like, you're running it too long, and you don't have it ready, so people are just not gonna fund it. And he's like, why are you running it so long? I was like, well, there was 3 shows that I was gonna be doing through the campaign to try to push it. And I was like, and I extended it an extra like 8 days or something to catch El Paso Comic Con at the very end, you know? And I was like, I'm hoping that helps push it a little bit. And he was like, well, good luck, I guess. You know, like, and he wasn't like a dick or anything. Like,
it just sounds that way.
Like, he was just being honest, but like that was just the reality of it. Like, he was like, you're not gonna get the funding. You should have been way better because your product is good. He's like, I don't think you'll be able to do it, and the fact that it's longer, like, he was just like, well, I mean, I hope it works out, but in my experience, it won't. And he was right, because
how long ago was it?
This was 2 years ago. It was 24 in April, actually.
So in his eyes, he felt you should have already had how much, the whole story done?
I think the whole story done, but
at the very least, or
at minimum. And I think like some
not even your, not your storyboard, not to that point, but
no,
just the
like
actual-
finished, yeah,
Okay.
finished and ready to go, and a couple of other things, but like, the Kickstarter was a success, but I'll tell you, like, I don't count it as a success, and it seems like a silly thing, but on Sunday at EPCON, that was the last 24 hours of the Kickstarter, and I was $1,300 short of goal. So I was like, well, we're not gonna make it. I'd need a miracle for this to pull through. Like, we've officially not made it. We've pushed it for 40 days instead of 30, and I've exhausted every person that I could possibly ask for help, you know. And and then this local lady, maybe I shouldn't say her name, so maybe we edit that part out. But this local lady here in El Paso was at the con, and she was like, you know, she's supported us through Deerfish, which is mine and my wife's other company, and she was like, oh, I love this book. And like, I was like, yeah, and I had like this Kickstarter cheat sheet and like a QR code that you could scan and like get to it. And she was like, oh, let me take a look. And she's like, I love supporting these, and I'll definitely help out. And I was like, cool, yeah, you know. And she donated $10 over the needed amount to cross the finish line. So she literally donated $1,300 to finish it. So that was a literal miracle. That was the only way we got to the finish line. So like, that's why I think my friend was right, that it's like, you're not going to meet your funding. I cannot expect this woman to do this every time. I cannot expect anybody to do that every time. Like, it should be hundreds of people paying $10 to $15, not
that one person.
Not 74 people donating $10 to $20 and one person donating $1,300. You know what I mean? So like, I that's why I'd have no ill will towards my buddy who was genuinely trying to help, and in his experience, and he was right, I think, you know, because that was pure luck, you know, and obviously it still counted, like it still got its funding and all that, but so the strategy has to be different. And so there's a couple of things that need to be done differently, like a preview page launch, a video included from the jump, because I added a video like a week later. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that like statistically, even Kickstarter says if you don't have a video for some reason, like you have a 60% chance of failing. Like,
well, thanks for that.
Like it just goes up.
I guess
So
it
get a video.
just gets people's attention or something.
Yeah, like for some weird reason, and so I was like, dang. So this next one's gonna have a little motion comic, because we did like not a motion comic, but like a dubbed comic in the Kickstarter for this one, but we did it like a week late after we launched, so it wasn't enough. So those are things we learned. We definitely need to have it all done and ready to go when we launch, so that people are just excited, like, oh, it's ready, here it is, you know. So that's the goal for like the publishing of it. But the inherent problem with like creating a comic, and it's actually I think what's hurting the industry in general, is that that's publishing. Producing comes before the publishing, and producing takes money and effort, time, and like, not only am I doing the job of 3.5 people in this book, I don't know how it's going to work out in the next book. It might be the same, it might be more. I have bills to pay, and nobody's paying me for this, and I'm a professional artist, so like I do this full time, And I say the analogy all the time with friends who don't understand why I'm stressed, and I'm like, do you clock into work for the week, and then at the end of the week they go, I'm only going to pay you these hours, not the ones you clocked into work? And it's like, no, of course not. But that's my reality, you know? And so when I'm like spending 20, 30, 40 hours a week on a comic book, and at the end of the week there's still shows that need to be done, that I need to produce art for, that I couldn't do because I was working on the comic, now I'm not going to get paid for either of them, you know? So because of that, it's always on the back burner. Like, no matter what, it's always on the back burner. So what I need is like a super chill sugar daddy that would fund me for like 3 months.
I'm looking for one of them too.
Just to take care of me for 3 months, and I'll do the whole book start to finish in 3 months, you know? And then we'll do the Kickstarter, and then we'll even pay him back. But it's like, without that kind of production cost upfront being taken care of, the books take forever because it's a product of passion. So for now, I was planning to have a Kickstarter a year later with the next story, which is Year of the Tiger. It's going to go after the 12 animals in the Zodiac. For no particular reason. It just kind of worked out. But so the next one was Year of the Tiger, and I've been working on that story for longer than I meant to. And now here we are 2 years later, and I'm like, I barely have about 2/3 of the story thumbnailed. I don't even have like all of it thumbnailed yet, you know? And that has to do also with like falling outs with other creators, and, you know,
don't like this,
having to completely completely rewriting it. The story that Chapanga had written was an amazing story, and I want to try to use it and insert it somewhere later, but it couldn't work for this because like he made a he just made Will Scarlet the main character, and I'm like, well, it's Robin Hood, you know, like, you know, the book
sometimes works out that way though. Like, I mean, even if you go back to, well, you can never tell who's gonna be the favorite character,
right? Like I think everyone's favorite character will be Will, but just like everybody likes Gohan, Goku's still the main character. You know what I mean? Right. Just how everyone right now is on Vegeta, Goku's still the man, you know? Right. And that has to be true for Robin Hood as well. Like, Robin Hood is the man. He's the guy.
Right. It's like, that even happens in Naruto. Naruto's the main character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's named after him.
Yeah.
And I happen to like Naruto as the main character.
And everybody has that. But the important part is to not, as the creator and as, you know, like Robin Hood is, in this universe, Robin Hood is like my firstborn, and he's like the most important one. Right. He's the only one that's like my son. The rest are like his friends. You know what I mean? Exactly. So I need to prioritize him. And the Inktober story was like, nobody really had the spotlight because it was a very random story. It's a lot of fun. I should get you guys a copy. But like everything was kind of like this, but then like Will was just like, you know, just a little bit. He just stood out a little more because he's quirky and funny. And I feel like he's the main comic relief.
Okay.
So like, because it's a comedy, like he kind of gets a little bit of the spotlight. I don't mind that at all. Then we did Year of the Ox, and by accident, it became a Will Scarlet story. And I was like, oh damn, well, that was a little too Will heavy, but I don't mind. But then now we're on the third story, and it's like I can't spend 1, 2, maybe 3 years on this book, and it's about Will again, when I'm trying to make you fall in love with Robin.
I see that.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with people liking Will. I want people to like Will, and I think Will is going to be the favorite regardless. But I think it would be a disservice to the story of Robin Hood of Arkaiyya to prioritize Will over Robin, you know?
I get that.
And so I was like, I cannot put this story out because this is like an incredible story about Will that will make people just not care about anybody else, you know? I was like, so I cannot put this out now. We have to do something different.
But I do like that you keep saying you can't put it out now.
Yeah, no, because the story is... No, the story is like amazing. Like, I was like just thinking about it, I like almost got chills because it is just so good. And Chapong is a phenomenal writer. He's like just so freaking good. And I'm like, but bro, we can't use it. Like, you also can't do a disservice to your universe, your characters, and your aim, just because like the story's that good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so we have to shelve it. And I do want to try to bring all the good character points that were applied to Will in the way he wrote it, just later in the main series, because I want you to love Will. And so like that'll happen as the series progresses. I can't do it again for the third book to be about Will. You know, like I'm like, it has to be about Robin. Right. And so I get you. Now I'm like overcompensating and making Robin like a super, super badass in this story. And hopefully people enjoy it because the book is called Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. You know what I mean? Right. And Will'll still be cool and like he's still like
what you're saying, to what you're saying, before I read it, being that it's called Robin Hood of Arkaiyya,
you're expecting
or to be engaged with Robin.
Yeah.
And the other people being like the side characters.
Yes.
But like to what you're saying, the way he's written, he is a cool, quirky person.
Yeah, and like this isn't, you know, like this was not anybody's fault. It's how it happened because this was always meant to be after the first 3 issues of the actual book. You know, the side quest stories were supposed to be peppered in, so they could have all have been about Will at that point.
Right.
But it didn't work out that way. And so because the main line isn't out, like people don't have like a metric of like loving all of the characters and particularly Robin, to where like these little side stories of Will would just be like the seasoning on a delicious steak. You know, you're just like, oh, that was awesome. You know, versus now because it happened backwards, it's like all I'm giving you is Will, and Will's a badass, and Will is funny, and Will's the best, and it's like, well, the book's not called Will Scarlet. You know what I mean? We could write a whole Will Scarlet book later. I don't mind, because he is one of my favorite characters. The way I've written and created him, and like I want people to love him. So like, it's not that I want him to fail, but Robin can't fail because the book is called Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. You know.
I guess
so. So because of that, I had to rewrite the whole Tiger story, and it's been a lot to like get it done, and I'm finally in the thumbnailing stage, and I'm like I said, about maybe 2/3 through it, and it's turning out to be a very long story. Like that was 17 pages, and it took almost 3 years.
I was gonna ask you how long did it take to get to that?
Almost 3 years, and it was because I worked on it like an hour a day. You know,
and this was you. So if you had more time during the day,
yeah,
it would have been less.
Oh yeah,
It would have been 3 years.
Yeah, like
it would have been say maybe 2.
I think like if I could.
Yeah, we're talking about one issue, right?
Yeah. So like, how am I supposed to do a whole series of like 24 issues or more? You know, that look like that. Like I don't know. You know, it's daunting, and I don't even have the answer because I'm like, well,
this is where you guys come in.
and like I do have the Ko-fi page, and you can have donations there, and I haven't done anything with the Ko-fi page, but I want to have like 3D print out maquettes of the characters because I have like Will, and I have Robin. This is the problem. I have Robin Hood as a little maquette, and then I have the Ox from this one as a little maquette as well, and I want to do all the characters because I actually have a head sculpt of Will and John. I got to do Arya, and like just little busts of them to have like people buy them for like $50-$60, and then like all of that just goes to production of the book because I just need my bills to be paid, you know, because that's the job, right? And if I could pay my bills without taking other jobs, because ultimately I only have, you know, let's say traditionally I only have 40 hours of work in me per week, and unless 20 hours of those are paying me double, I can't work on the book. You know what I mean? Because that book takes that time and energy, but doesn't bring in that money. So I can't dedicate time to it. So it's like, if I could raise between $2 to $3 grand a month just to cover bills, I could dedicate the time to working on that, and I would knock it out in at most 2 months. You know, like because
on your own, no team. We're talking about on your own.
This is just me.
Yeah, on his
Now,
own.
when you say the book, are we talking? Because I hear book, I think graphic novel,
Yeah.
or is it going to be serialized
So,
like a comic book?
For me, my intention is to be like a comic book.
Serialized coming out.
Serialized, but
every what? 6 months.
I think the dream would be every 6 months.
That would be the dream.
If we got into the main line, maybe every 3 months, but I would make them all pretty hefty, like 48-page comics. Growing up, I grew up collecting Sonic the Hedgehog comics from Archie, and I think every quarter they would have a 48-page special. It was always like a double issue because the average comic's 22 pages.
Okay.
And here in the West, those 22 pages have become less and less. Like I've seen books that are like 16 pages, you know, like mine, but this is like an indie one shot, whereas that's like a full-on book, you know, with a whole production team behind it. And I'm like, really, we can't even get 22 pages anymore, you know? But the dream would be to have like 30 to 48 page issues out every 3 months for the main storyline. Every 6 months if it's like that much harder, but always put out a 48-page book, which would be like at minimum half of it being story, the 22 pages, maybe 30 of story, and the rest being like lore, world maps, like in world ads. Like there's this character in the cover in the back with a robotic arm. It's actually one of my best friends has a character named Jet, and he's like he's an interdimensional traveler. So he's like, one of the jokes we want to do with some stories we want to tell is that he shows up somewhere in every story, you know. And in this one, he's running a noodle cart, you know, and he's going to be in the book, but like, you know, like an ad for his noodle cart would be in the book, you know, like stuff like that would be.
That's cool because there's kind of a character like that in One Piece. Zoro.
Okay.
I think we might have talked about it last time we had lunch.
Yeah.
But where he's so bad at directions.
Yeah.
Where he ends up in other anime or
no kidding.
or if people cosplay him.
That's hilarious.
And they go to say a Star Wars convention. It fits because he's so bad at directions.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's great.
I have a theory on that. I don't think he's bad at directions. I think he's just finding a better world to be part of.
So that's like their running bit of that character. So
that's cool.
That's what I kind of thought of as soon as you mentioned
Yeah.
that.
That's fun, man. Yeah, dude. So like,
And I like that, by the way. I like those type of tropes.
Yeah.
just something that makes it a little more meta. So that's you know, the intention would be to have hefty books that come out every 3 to 6 months.
You want to throw in a little late to the game logo in there somewhere?
Absolutely, man. I could totally put a whole ad for you guys there. Like, I don't even mind. But yeah, like that would be the intention. But without, so again, we were talking earlier about like the publishing side versus the producing side. It's two steps, and the producing side is the hard side because that's the part where I'm just eating the labor. Like I'm working for free, you know what I mean? And so like crowdfunding is like good when you have the product, but the problem is getting the product, because that's the part that costs money up front. And like, again, this is my job. So like I either don't take paid work to work on this free work, or I just work on the paid work. So then again, I ignore the book, the Robin book. So like, there's just no way to win.
Yeah. So it's like pick your. That's the phrase I'm trying to look for. Pick your poison.
In a way.
Is that?
Like, and so like that's ultimately the hard part, where it's like right now, specifically right now, in April we don't really have any gigs or any like jobs, right? So imagine you're taking a month vacation from work. Think of it that way. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, that seems nice, but how are your bills going to get paid? Because it's not paid time off. It's just off, right? Yeah. So we have one show next week in Albuquerque, and that's it. It was one single show for the, so you're clocking into work for maybe half a week, and that's it, if you're lucky.
And then you're talking about travel expenses.
Yeah. Right. And so, like, I was like, well, what can we do this month? And there's a buddy of mine is working on his own comic book, and he's been wanting me to color it. So he's like, whenever you're free, and I was like, bro, I'm free right now. So all of my time is dedicated on his book right now, that I have downtime instead of my book, because I have to pay bills.
Yeah. And that's like a vicious cycle. Is that what?
Yeah, like there's only two ways I see a way out of it. One, you do it this way, where you just do it when you can, and it comes out when it can, when it will, and that's that. And whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 2 years, you just got to deal with it. And you do it for free, and then try to recoup when it comes out and you sell it, which you won't, because you're never going to make 3 years salary on a book. You know what I mean? If it took me 3 years to make this, excuse me, that book took me 3 years to make. I'm not going to make $100,000 on that book. You know what I mean? Right. To cover the average $30,000 that people make. You know what I mean? That's the one way. The second way is a publisher, someone with money that lends you the money to produce it, and then they recover it after the publishing. You know what I mean? Like, those are the only two ways I see it. And so, like, that's why some people have told me, like, hey, you should look into like Image or even Dark Horse to try and just have it published then. But it's like they don't pay me to produce it. They pay to publish it. So we're in the same. Yeah, I have to have it done. So then, why do that when I could just crowdfund it and keep the money myself? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I may be wrong. I have a cousin published a few books. We published them through Amazon. Mm-hmm. Is that not an option for you?
So
is it the same thing to where you have to have the product already?
Yeah. So again, publishing is the second step. That first step is the one that everybody just wants to skip. It's the same thing. I could definitely publish this through Amazon, especially this one that is done. I could publish it through there. No upfront cost. They take care of either printing and shipping on demand, or printing a few, or whatever. And I don't have to worry about that. But that's publishing. Publishing is not the problem.
It's producing. You said
producing is the real issue, the hard issue, and ultimately it's just like you just got to buckle down and do it. But and maybe I'm just not that disciplined anymore that I'm getting older. I'm just like tired. When I was younger, I'd be like, well, let's run on 2-3 hours of sleep. We're good. Right. Now I'm
I don't need to eat this week.
now if I don't get exactly 8 hours, I'm like dead the whole day. So it's rough, man. But
it can be tough, yeah.
But yeah, like this. None of this means I'm not gonna do this. None of this means that I'm gonna stop. But it just means if I can't somehow get $3,000 to $4,000 a month to produce these books, it just means it's going to come out when it comes out, Yeah. And it will, but I just don't know when. Because I had full intention of having Year of the Tiger done this spring, and I'm I'm nowhere near that.
It's spring.
Spring is about to be over, and we are not there. So right off, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen for the spring. Maybe the summer, I don't know, but
well, hopefully, maybe we will have some new supporters for you as well here.
Maybe
coming on our channel. Definitely count on Nature's Game supporting you in any way we can.
Appreciate it, man.
We really do want to look forward to more of Robin Hood of Arkaiyya.
Thank you.
Like you said, I do understand the whole producing things, as you can see. Our setup. We're all doing what we can with what we have.
Yeah.
As best as we can. Obviously, we all want better situations, better things. We're working towards that.
Yeah.
Hence, I also wanted to collaborate with you because you help me, we help you, type of deal.
Yeah.
So our supporters hopefully will help you support him in his venture for Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. Get that up close for y'all. And vice versa. All of you who know who he is, if this is your first time watching our video, check out some of our other videos. We do a lot of reaction videos. The best way I like to describe ourselves is we're a variety entertainment channel. So we have a bunch of different things. We're trying to bring more things into it. And as I mentioned, he's our first guest here on the channel. And we're having a great time. Mike is actually pointing something out to me right now. He also did, if I'm not mistaken, these were variant covers. Is that the right phrasing?
So this is actually the main cover.
Okay, hold on. You're getting the glare.
Sorry. That's the main cover for that book.
And I have it framed, by the way, in my house. He gifted it to me, so I framed it.
But yeah, this one's a fun story because it's like I grew up watching.
I couldn't help notice that it reads
Dark Horse. Yeah, it's a legit comic.
And you did what was it? Sorry, refresh my memory here.
So for that one, I did 9 pages of like story and art. Well, like the artwork on it, the first 9 pages, because it's a multiverse anthology that they were doing. I had the freaking crazy privilege of working with Jeff Matsuda, who was the art director for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe on Netflix. It's not the 2D one that everyone hated. It was the 3D one that nobody watched. That was the Jeff was the art director on that, and Jeff and I, we've been friends now for like almost 10 years. Chris, who's Liquid, he and I were like already talking and stuff, and we're friends, and he and Jeff were friends, and Jeff was like, hey, I'm looking for like a colorist, and he was asking Chris because Chris is like the man, right? But Chris was just kind of like moving away from that kind of stuff. He was working more on video games. And so he's like, well, talk to PEZ. Like, he's good. And I was like, oh, thank you, Chris. Because Chris is like my hero. And Jeff is like, I grew up watching Jeff's cartoons. He did Jackie Chan Adventures. He did,
oh, wow.
I think he did some of Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot. He did some of the Men in Black character designs for the cartoon. And then he did the Batman in like 03, 04.
Okay.
So I was like, watching his stuff as like a preteen and teenager, and like there is we talked about influences, and Joe Mad's like the biggest influence, but like Matsuda was in the same vein of like Joe at the time. He just went more cartoony, and like he was also a big influence. You don't see it as heavy as Joe's because like the main gist of it is Joe's, but like some of the proportions I do and like the body shapes are more Jeff,
Okay.
But I've been working on these projects which were like toys and video games with Jeff for a couple of years, and then around 2019ish, 2018 maybe, he was approached to do He-Man like as the art director. And he was like, hey, we're doing a pitch for He-Man. So let's work on these characters and send it to them. And I was like, dude, that would be awesome. And it's funny because like I'm 40, so like He-Man's like right before my time, like just barely. There was a little bit of overlap. Yeah. But I never got into He-Man, so I was like, all right, cool. Like I told a friend and he geeked out, and I was like, cool, like,
that's cool.
But I was more geeked out of the fact that I was working with Jeff,
Okay, yeah.
On like something that big, because all the toys and video games that we worked on, like none of them came through. Like everything just got shelved, which is a big part of like the industry. Like the stuff you see is like 2% of the stuff being produced, which is insane.
That's crazy.
It's just such a waste. But yeah, so I was like, dang, it would be really cool to work on a cartoon with Jeff, because like that's how I came to love Jeff's work, And so we did the pitch, and right away it got picked up. And so I was like, no freaking way, Jeff, are we gonna work on this cartoon together? And he's like, no, dude, I can't hire you because and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like he's like, I can't hire you because it's a studio in Canada, and they have these sort of like union laws. so they couldn't hire anybody outside of like their studio in Canada, besides like some of the higher ups, which was in this case like Jeff. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, I guess that sucks a lot. and that was that. And then like within a few months, he was like, dude, I can't get this design approved. Like, can you help me out? I'm like, all right. And so I did my thing, and then it got approved right away. Like, so I was like, cool. We still got a little of that magic, Jeff. And then like, he's like, thanks, man. And he pays me. And,
okay. I was gonna say, I had to help on this over here.
Yeah, like, and then he was like, all right, and I was like, all right, cool. And then like, he's like, just letting you know, I can't give you credit on any of this. I was like, you're a ghost, like a ghost creator. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then it happened again a couple months later. And then I was like, all right, here you go, man. I'll take my money now. And then it kept happening, and kept happening, and kept happening throughout the production of the cartoon. Like, whenever a character was too complicated and they just couldn't get it approved, Jeff was like, help me get it approved, PEZ. And I was like, all right. So then I'd do a paint over. Like, it's his design. I'm just doing like the color design, like deciding what, it's things we take for granted, like if you see like the Battle Cat, which I didn't get to work on Battle Cat, and I was so bummed. How do I get not the flare? But like, he's got like red, and then there's like a little bit of blue, and then like a little bit of like a different texture on like the shoulder pad, and so like all those are decisions that have to be consciously made. Like, it's not arbitrary. Like, someone has to make it, and that was me. And so like, it was deciding all those things and then painting it to make it look 3D and make it look believable enough that they could see it in the cartoon. So it was like, I feel like imposter syndrome because I'm just coloring it, but like, Jeff would always tell me, he's like, no, dude, you're contributing like so much. And I was like, thanks, because I don't feel like I am, but I appreciate it. And ultimately, like, the whole look of the series was based on what Jeff and I were doing, not what Jeff and anybody else was doing. And that kept happening and happening and happening to where eventually, when they were going to launch the first season, Jeff was like, dude, I've been like working hard to get you a credit on this because like you've contributed way too much. And like, he's like, I can't guarantee it, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, when you see the series, my name's there, like additional designs, PEZ Lopez, and I was like, holy crap!
Now I got it
because it was like our director Jeff Matsuda, and then like additional designs, and there was my friend Tim Kane and myself, and I was like, oh my god,
that's fucking cool, man.
So it was freaking epic, and then Mattel, who's the owner, like, would pitch or Dark Horse has the rights, so like they were pitching to Mattel, and Mattel was like, well, let's do a multiverse thing because that's all the rage, and they're gonna revisit this universe, the 3D universe. So call Jeff and tell him to do the comic. And Jeff at the time was working at Meta, so he's like, I'm not doing comics, I'm getting paid. He's like, PEZ, do you want to do it? And I was like, absolutely. And so then I got to do that.
That's awesome.
That one, the main cover is done by Eddie Nunez. The cover you guys saw, that's by Eddie Nunez, who's also a local artist. And he was art director for the 2D He-Man, the one that everybody hated. But it's good. People were just mad. But, none of that was Eddie's fault. He was just the art director. It looks awesome because of him.
What year was this?
This was 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I think it was 2023. And Eddie was the main illustrator for He-Man. And that's his cover, but my colors, like I colored it.
Okay.
And then the variant cover with all the bad guys, which is like a sister piece to that one, was the one that was all me. But that's the one that I
think it's that one?
Yeah, that one over there. No, I didn't even see that.
I have both of them,
So yeah, like this one's the one that's all me.
Let me get close for you.
So that's all the artwork is me, not just the colors. And then the 9 pages of the book are all my artwork. So that was cool. And then, but yeah, just like little things like that make it all
man,
pretty special,
keep you going, no?
Yeah, because
keep
you know,
going at it.
like as negative as a lot of this seems or is, like it's not really a complaint. It's just the reality of it. You know, like I wouldn't keep doing it if I didn't want to do it. You know, like I'd much rather struggle through creating and making a comic than going back to the 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like that's a different struggle that I can't get myself to get back to. You know,
man, that's my passion for drawing. Well, obviously you guys don't know, but as he mentioned earlier, we went to high school together, and at the time in high school, I used to draw with him. We were in art class together,
and he was fucking amazing at it.
I was alright.
Nah, he was so good.
I was alright. And then throughout the years, man, life happens, and I lost the passion for it, and I never pursued it like he has. Once in a while, I'll sketch stuff out. I'll even post it on my socials every once in a while. You follow me on there if you want to check some of them out. Sometimes I delete them, but whatever. Anyways, but yeah, that's how I met him, through art, through our love for art, our love for drawing and things of that sort, and anime, and just I've always been a fan of it. I remember, I don't know if you have any of these pieces still, but one of my favorite things, or style, I guess, you would draw these characters with the Mega Man boots.
Yes.
I love those, dude.
It's funny. I was telling my wife about that a couple months ago. That was like that was gonna be my Dragon Ball. Like, this is now my Dragon Ball, right?
Okay.
Like, but it was like those characters were, because I was such a Sonic fan, right? There was an artist there named Patrick Spaziante who he would do the covers, and the best covers were his. And then those giant 48-page specials, they'd usually get him to do them, and they were always like super, super tight, you know? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of his like style was in these characters I was making, where they had sort of like Sonic proportions. But then I was like, I also like Mega Man, and so I just put Mega Man boots on them. And yeah, if this is like sort of cringy when I think about it now, but I was like 13, you know, maybe 12. And so it was just called The Chosen with a Z. It was Chosen. That was like the name of the project, and the main character's name was Darko. And yeah, it was like, I think my wife found an old notebook where I had a lot of drawings, and there was one where he's standing there like that with a giant like Buster Sword type of thing, and he's like
and I think I remember that.
And there was like a red to yellow sunset behind him, kind of, and that was all color pencil and like Sharpie pens. Like, it was nuts, dude. And that's like the one that I found recently, but I don't know where any of the other stuff is.
Well, if you do have it, put it up on your socials so I can check it out. Because I remember
Let me try to find it, and then I'll even tag you guys on it.
So Mike can check it out too, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, those were cool, man. I liked them.
It was funny. Like, looking back at it, I was like, maybe, but it's like there's so many bad things with it too, like design wise, that I'm like, oh, this is so bad.
You could always clean it up, though.
Yeah,
no?
you know,
when you look at your early stuff.
It's like, even Naruto and anime, you know, you look at some of their first forms or versions of them, they're not the same as when it comes out. So
I mean, even the fact that
or maybe that character could come out in years.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That I was when I was telling my wife about it, I was like, I'm gonna make him do a little cameo somewhere, you know, in Robin Hood. Like, just he's either in the background or someone that gives somebody directions to something, you know, and he's just there.
Or maybe that time traveler can pop in.
Maybe like he brings him in or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be interesting.
But yeah, it was really funny to like go back to that, and I was like, it's such bad design, like so many colors happening, and like since like now that's kind of my job, like to make that work.
I get that.
I was like, I really want to try and redesign them and see what could work, you know.
That'd be badass. I'd be happy to see that.
Yeah, I don't know if these characters would work with Mega Man boots, but we'll pay homage somehow.
Maybe you would have to
he just have like tone
it down a bit, but still, you can still kind of see it.
Yeah. Just like slightly like bigger boots. You could
always have them winter scene, and they have their Mega Man boots.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a thought.
But yeah, man, that's funny that you bring that up.
That's great, man. Anything else you would like to add to this, sir? 'Cause I think we're pretty much gonna close up today because I do have some stuff going on.
Yeah.
But for our viewers, as I said, this is Daniel Lopez,
Usually when I'm in trouble.
creator,
PEZ.
Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. If you like this video, I would love to have you on again, if you're
Yeah,
okay
man.
with that. Talk about more about Robin Hood. There's plenty of other things that we didn't touch on.
I know I rambled too much. I apologize.
No, it's no problem. But there's plenty of other things because he. For those of you that watch our show or our channel, we're very nerdy. We like a lot of the nerdy things. Obviously, he touched on anime and things of that sort. I really like his thoughts on certain things. I had lunch with him recently as well. He had some very great thoughts on the DCU and Marvel universes. But I would like to get that on camera.
Don't get me started on that.
I would like to get that on camera for another video. We're kind of stretching this, man. We've been going quite long. I didn't
There's
even
gonna be a lot of editing, guys.
So, but
This 5-minute video is from a 2-hour ramble that I went on.
not you, man. It's great stuff, man. But we do want to have him on again to talk about more stuff, get his opinion on other things, get his thoughts on things, just nerd culture and things of that sort. I wanted to make this more about you and your comic book and your things and the stuff that you've worked on, your inspirations. I hope we've touched on that pretty good. If I missed anything, we'll get to that as long as you're willing to come back on our channel again.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add, sir?
I'm gonna put up that Inktober book in the next 2 days, promise. So you guys can check that out. That's more than you could see in the coffee shop. And if you guys have any like ideas and what you would want to see from me to be able to support me, like let me know.
Please let us know in the comments, and make sure to follow him on Instagram. Your Instagram handle is
Pezarama Rama. And
he
also Robin Hood of Arkaiyya.
Robin Hood of Arkaiyya. You have your website as well?
Pezarama.com, which you can see up here in this one. Yep, Pezarama.com. It has like prints and stickers for sale of stubbies, which we didn't even talk about.
That's exactly what I was saying. We'll have to touch on that on the next video.
Yeah.
That's would you say that's a style of yours that you work on?
Just to taking commissions? Because I noticed that on your website.
Yeah.
So definitely, he's still, as Mike mentioned, he's taking commissions on that stuff. Check them out on his website. They're really, really cool. They're basically
just hyper detailed chibis. That's what they are.
Hyper detailed chibis. All right, there you go. Yeah, not
Perfect
like
description. I was just gonna say that.
Thank you.
Who knows? You might see a new intro for our channel with hyper detailed chibis of me and Mike. You never know. We might commission that. But thank you for tuning in. Is there anything else you would like to add, Mike?
No, I'm good for now. I think I got a lot of my questions answered.
Awesome, man. We loved having you here, Pez.
I appreciate
Thank you very much for coming on.
It's an honor to be here.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for staying tuned to this video. Please, as always, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Subscribe and follow him on all his social medias and everything. Great artist, great stories. As he's mentioned, he's working on it. If we all as community support him as well, we can see more of this. This is so awesome. I'm telling you guys, this is really, really great. And that's all I have. That's all we have. Thank you for watching.
Support your local artists.
Support your local artists. If you're somebody watching from El Paso, he's from El Paso.
From the past, baby.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Hopefully he'll come on again, and we'll let y'all know. Stay tuned when he comes on again, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.